When I listened to ABBA's new album Voyage for the very first time, I was completely thrilled with the music, the coherence, that feeling of pure familiarity. But one element, to me, was definitely defining the entire album: the voices of Frida and Agnetha. In my first impressions, I called the experience of this album women power at its very best. I realized just how unbeatable these ladies are and have always been. So, for today's video, we are doing things a little differently. It's like an experimental work in progress. We are going to celebrate the union of Frida and Agnetha by bringing together quotes from their friends and colleagues. And all of you will join me in the comment section below by adding your memories and quotes that you remember, so we will piece together a big homage to the vocal force of ABBA.
My God, they sound good together.
When we first heard the girls, when they came in and helped us singing some backing vocals, we looked at ourselves and said, boy, why don't we let them sing? We write, they sing.
Michael B. Tretow, our sound engineer, he said this: the vocal work was usually completed in one single day and was the most painless bit. With other artists, this is usually the hardest part, but Agnetha and Frida somehow seemed to be cut out for this job. We almost never got stuck on the vocals, which almost always happens with other artists. But these two were so persistent and worked hard and energetically. There was never any talk of, oh, not today, I have to feel inspired. Michael was also talking about the marvelous craft of the ladies' voices. They had an enormous amount of control over their own voices and could do the most difficult things. It's very unusual with singers who are able to sing with such precision and still sound convincing, because usually there is always a point where the exactness overpowers the feeling. But Frida and Agnetha had the added ability to make every part of their vocal performance sound like they really meant what they were singing. Benny himself said this: when you talk about concepts like the ABBA sound, you certainly have to mention the songs, the way we arranged them, Michael's contributions and all that. But take away Frida and Agnetha and let two other girls sing their parts, and the ABBA sound goes out the window immediately. Their voices were simply the most important ingredient of our overall sound structure. Just recently, in a lengthy Q&A from 2 years ago, Benny continued his praise for the ladies.
Frida and Agnetha is 90% of the ABBA sound. You take the voices out, let someone else sing. It's not the same thing.
In 2001, Björn and Michael B. Tretow described the vocal ability of both Frida and Agnetha and what happens if they combined it.
Agnetha was very punchy, and Frida had this hi-fi quality to it because it was very bright and very soft, bassy in itself. So they were very complementary to each other, these two voices.
Sometimes when they sang in unison, Agnetha perhaps going down a little and Frida struggling to get up to her, there was a certain sound to it. It was amazing.
But it's not only the sound that makes it unique. The craftsmanship of Frida and Agnetha has also been praised several times. Last year, I was lucky to talk to Agnetha's friend and producer Jörgen, and this is what he said about the creative input and Agnetha's way of working.
She's very focused. She did have the song back home, she was, working it through, learning everything about it. She always writes things down and make sure she's very effective in that way. So once she comes to the studio, she knows what she's going to do. I can't say that for a lot of new artists, but she's like an old pro, the way they used to be, very prepared and knows everything.
In the Q&A for Voyage, Björn and Benny gave similar insight into the professionalism of Frida and Agnetha.
They've had the songs, right? They had demos or the backing tracks if we had them, and the lyrics sent to them. So they when they came in to do the vocals, they knew it, And then we just say, okay, ladies, please. Quite extraordinary, actually.
Yes, very.
Voyage was my first ever experience of an actual brand new ABBA album. I was just so familiar and connected with the original albums that the new album completely reinforced my astonishment for the ladies' vocal force, especially after 40 years. Here is my quote from my first impressions. From start to finish, we have two ladies who sing their hearts out, who really shine as bright as ever, individually and together. This is women power at its very best. They sound strong and convictive, sensitive and vulnerable, and as lovely as only Agnetha and Frida can sound. It's an incredible journey through all kinds of emotions. My friend Sam said that not only can they sing the highest and the lowest and nail impossible nuances, but they manage to slip into the most different characters to bring us this variety of a voyage. They manage, as good as ever, to bring out their vast range of personal experiences, to give us this incredible variety. It's unbelievable to think and hear what they did on Voyage. Just listen to the joint vocals and backing vocals on songs like When You Danced With Me, on the singles Don't Shut Me Down, I Still Have Faith in You, and songs like No Doubt About It and Ode to Freedom. It's unbelievable. To me, the sound of ABBA, of these two voices, these two ladies, is the most unique and strongest voice I have ever heard by any artist. I hope you enjoyed this little gathering of quotes and thoughts. And now, as I said, it's your time to join me in the comment section below. What are your favorite vocal moments of Frida and Agnetha in ABBA's albums? Your memories? Or do you have other quotes that you remember from someone praising Frida and Agnetha? Let's piece it together, a big homage to the vocal force of ABBA. Alright, until then, hey då!